The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows that seemed to stretch and twist like phantom fingers across the forest floor. I tightened my grip around the damp handle of my flashlight, the failing beam flickering occasionally, echoing the unease gnawing at my gut. We had come to Cedar Ridge to escape the noise and chaos of the world, to reconnect with nature, or so we told ourselves. 5 of us in total: me, Alex, Jen, Lucas, and Tara, each eager to prove our bravery in the heart of the wilderness. "Look!" Tara yelled, pointing at the dying sunlight filtering through the trees. "At least it's pretty." Lucas chuckled. "Pretty isn't the word I'd use. More like creepy." He was right. The woods whispered with rustling leaves, and the wind moaned softly, almost like a voice warning us to turn back. That evening, around a crackling campfire, we sat close, laughter punctured by the chorus of cicadas. As the shadows deepened, Jen began sharing tales of local legends. "Did you guys hear about the Wendigo?" she asked, her eyes shining with mischief. "Don't start, Jen," Alex cautioned, though his grin betrayed his amusement. "You know how legends go." "They say it used to be a human, cursed by its own greed for flesh," Jen continued, leaning closer to the fire as if afraid the darkness would steal her words. "It's always hungry, always hunting. The more it eats, the more it craves for human flesh." My heart raced at her story, unease settling deeper in my chest. I tried laughing it off, but the way the wind howled through the trees felt like a low growl, responding to Jen's unsettling narrative. As night fell, we reluctantly crawled into our tents. I lay there, staring at the fabric above me, sleep eluding me. Images of the Wendigo danced in my mind, its gaunt figure skimming the trees, its hollow eyes glinting like dying stars. I shook my head, trying to dispel the fear that gripped me. Somewhere around midnight, I was jolted awake by a distant, hollow call, a sound that didn't belong in the woods. My heart thundered in my chest as I poked my head out of the tent. The others were still asleep, oblivious to the encroaching darkness. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream sliced through the night. My thoughts whirled into chaos as I scrambled to wake the others. "Get up! Tara's gone!" Panic seized us, but we couldn't just stand there. We stumbled into the trees, calling Tara's name, fear amplifying every sound. The moon barely pierced the canopy, shadows moving like living things, creeping closer. "Over here!" Lucas shouted, his voice a strangled whisper. We pushed through the underbrush and then we found it, a torn backpack, its contents strewn like fallen leaves. We searched for hours, calling out her name, but the forest swallowed our voices whole. My resolve began to crumble, and a chilling thought nestled in my mind. What if Jen was right? What if the Wendigo was truly out there, lurking just out of sight, waiting until we were too exhausted to fight back? Finally, we stumbled back to the camp, defeated and terrified. As we gathered around the dying fire, the silence was deafening, our breaths shaky in the heavy air. We'd lost Tara, and whatever had taken her was still watching. The sound of snapping twigs echoed from the dark tree line, and I knew we were not alone. Before I could speak, a gnarled figure burst from the shadows, its emaciated frame impossibly tall, eyes like winter skies staring us down. Its ragged breath misted the air, and in that moment, as I faced the horror of the Wendigo, I knew we were not just camping. We were the hunted,